Welcome and welcome back to the Light Renegades. My name is Starr. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. To those that might be new, we are the Light Renegades. We are a collective of Pleiadian beings bringing you information from the stratospheres that are ever expanding at this time, the veil that is truly non-existent. We are disclosing cosmic secrets and allowing for you to delve into a deeper state of consciousness and bringing information forward with regards to the negative reptilian order and its influence over planet Earth and all of its inhabitants at this time. But that being said, I would suggest perhaps starting at the beginning of this series titled The Darkness. We are delving into aspects of shadow and the negative reptilian order and its influence over all of us here on planet Earth, and some, I guess, quite extreme expressions are being brought forward. And I've been delving into, darker magic, black magic, and the emotional psyche is what I want to share somewhere as well, everyone. But that being said, today is an update, actually, an energy update, because I promised to share a little bit about what happened with me when I was working away. Last week I took a few days off. I was working for a friend at a festival, and I was really shaken to my core by some things that I experienced whilst being there, because I feel like I just wasn't prepared for what was being brought forward, and I guess the magnitude of how why I'm doing what I'm doing, and reminding myself of, why the Light Renegades have come to be, why we are channeling the information that we are, and why we are doing any of this. And the festival that I was at was predominantly a family festival. So there was a lot of children there. There was a lot of little souls there, little bright, super sweet, intelligent souls that I got to meet. It was quite overwhelming. I've done this festival 2 years in a row, and there was just so many children. It's quite an experience, an exhausting experience to some degree. But I'm grateful to be interacting with their little souls and seeing absolutely just bright-eyed starseeds just wandering around everywhere, frolicking in nature is just a beautiful thing to witness. But alongside all of this, the experience that I had this time was a very harrowing one, everyone. And, there were some aspects of this festival that was just incredibly challenging to be there for, and specifically quite late at night. There was a lot of things put on for children still, and I didn't really think too much of this until a very specific night something happened. And this was one of the biggest tents that they had, and there was a competition happening, a dance competition for children, and there was a masculine energy on the stage that was dancing around in a leotard, and he was picking out children from the crowd to be in this dance competition, to be dancing in front of everyone else. And I don't know how to put this energy into words, but it just left a very bitter taste in my mouth, and I really had to check myself in this space. But then my hands just started to send out light codes, and teams of light swiftly came in and said, you need to put a blanket over this energy, you need to protect this space, because the negative reptilians are here and they're trying to siphon this energy. And just something about the whole thing felt incredibly off. The whole entirety of this event, there wasn't much happening in this big tent apart from this specific understanding that was being brought forward through this show for the children, and it just seemed very off and odd is what I wanted to share. And I realized that there were a lot of different aspects of understanding being brought forward in that space, and some quite, I guess, controversial expressions as well being brought forward within that. And I have some pretty strong views about some things that I think gets a little bit convoluted the deeper that we go down this rabbit hole of the negative reptilian order and its influence. And this idea of trying to overly sexualize children and degenderize them, I think, is an incredible problem that we are facing right now. And I know that this completely splits the crowd, and I believe that anyone should be expressing themselves in whatever way that they want to express themselves. I do not have any type of hate in my heart for anyone that wants to be anything that they want to be. And quite frankly, I can't imagine what it feels like to feel like you have been born the particularly specifically wrong gender somewhere to some, but I can express that it felt incredibly challenging to me to be in a body that just felt like wasn't mine this whole time. So somewhere I empathize with that energy, although not the same. And I know that this perhaps is going to trigger some, and I've definitely being brought forward expressions from people thinking that I have a very different view than what I do. But when I see something and I know that it's off, and I know that it's connected to the negative reptilian order, I just sense it and I feel it. And this is one of those expressions. And it just made my blood run cold. And I thought, how many other spaces are the negative reptilian order making strongholds in spaces where they know there was going to be a lot of children, and specific souls are perhaps strategically put in place to be creating these aspects of this dance competition with these children. That it was just a very odd experience. I thought, this is supposed to be for children somewhere, I get that, but it just wasn't right. And I didn't enjoy the energy of a masculine somewhere picking specific children out of the crowd to be brought up on stage. It felt just very off and wrong. And I think that this might trigger somewhere. I was quite hesitant to bring this forward, but I wanted to just bring forward this aspect because it was brought forward to me by my teams of light, and they were saying, hey, you need to put up some defenses for this, and we brought this to your attention so that you can seed in this layer of consciousness. And I think somewhere, as I've delved deeper into all of this, I've kind of forgotten the overarching message of why we are doing anything that we are doing right now, and somewhere we are here to help save the children is what I want to share. And it was just a real dark and dense space, and Lucifer stepped forward in an expression as well, because there was a castle that was on site, and I was told there was a lot of dark practices and magic that were brought into that space. So we went through and cleared a lot of energies and timelines connected to that energy. And as I was there, I was very much living a 3D experience, and enjoying that. But somewhere at the back of my mind, I just felt like there was just this energy of just a weight that was around. And I think some of you very much tap into those aspects of, where you find yourself, and this idea that some of us have specifically been sent to places that are of a dense energy, a darker aspect, to help transmute that energy. And some of you have been tapping into those aspects. And I want to share that, if you have an inclining of feeling about something, now is not the time to second guess it. I would say, proceed with caution, but do whatever you can to, send some light to those situations, and specifically to those, if you feel like it's in close proximity with where you are, just send out light to buildings, send out light to the ground. That is definitely something that I do a lot of the time. And specifically, I've been sent to decode and shatter a lot of crystals that the negative reptilian order have been placing under big structures around the world, and also connecting to aspects where there is a lot of, human traffic, in terms of there is a lot of people, and specifically children as well. And I've realized I've been doing this in my dream time. I've been kind of flitting all over the world and just collapsing these deep and dark crystals that they have. And as much as we use crystals for the lighter aspects, there are those out there that use the power of crystals for a negative aspect. And we're always dealing with the light and the shadow at all times. We are all completely 50-50 light and shadow, and we are dealing with the shadowy aspects of some souls out here right now, and specifically those that are connected to the negative reptilian regime. And there was specifically a being that I don't necessarily love their music, but I thought they were incredibly vivacious and just a really beautiful character. And I've watched them, on television, and they are a performer, they are a live performer, they are a singer. I'm not going to name who the soul is, actually, for once, because I think that it's just not helpful at this time, I don't think. But I saw them live for the first time, and I'd had a question mark around this being for a little while, because I could see that their style had changed, their music had changed slightly. And I think the forward facing aspect of that was that the soul's been going through a breakup, so they're bringing out a little bit more of an edgy disposition. But what I was seeing was just the negative reptilian order written all over it. And when I saw this soul perform, I could see it so clearly. This soul just looked broken. It's like the sparkle goes out of people's eyes. And this is something that I've been doing throughout this entirety of the time. I've been looking at people in the public eye. Specifically, I've been dealing with a lot of celebrity culture, still trying to understand exactly why that is. But I'm a 90s baby, so I think I've been growing up, and I've been sponging a lot of this energy the entirety of my life that I've been having to work through the collective. But I've been seeing souls, before they've made it and then after they've made it. And it's a glint in the eye that is gone, is what I want to share. And sometimes it's not overtly obvious, although other souls, I do believe have been cloned at this point, and I think that is obvious. But it's like the sparkle is just missing from people's eyes. And I've seen this within my own personal spaces. I've seen the shadowy aspect of the negative reptilian order come through souls that I've known specifically. And it's like there is just nothing. There is a blankness in the eyes, there is a blankness in the face, and it's there. there and you cannot ignore it. And I think the more susceptible you are to energy, the more that you can see this in people. And I think if you are on this path right now, you are really, really, really at the forefront of seeding in a space of consciousness that we haven't hit at this moment given in time. So trust in your knowing, trust in your intuition. And if you are sent somewhere, for whatever reason you feel like I just should go here today, please listen to this, everyone, because we are all on our side missions is what I'm starting to understand. And I've been dreaming of a lot of people that I know in my physical plane of existence that aren't necessarily as tapped in as I am right now, but they are on their own path and on their own journey. I can see that. But in our dream time, we are meeting up and we are doing missions together. And I'm so incredibly grateful to have that understanding and for that to be my truth. But I think so many of you out here are also on that fragment of existence. And specifically, if you've been dealing with a lot of heavy emotions, chaotic emotions at this time, I promise you are in other spaces dealing with a lot right now. I was being told that our focus is shifting yet again to be back with the children. There has been a lot that's been going on with regards to sacrifices somewhere. And I'm still trying to get to the depths of that, but something was brought to my attention just before filming the last Kurt Cobain video, which I think is what threw me completely off, and I had to do 23 takes of it because I could see myself as a different type of being. And I brought forward this idea of the Legion of Darkness before, but I wasn't entirely sure whom these souls were, and I think we weren't ready to seed in that aspect. But this Legion of Darkness are beings that have been created by the negative reptilian order, hybrids of human energy somewhere spliced with different types of beings and aspects. And I was a different being, and somewhere my children were being harvested and tested on, and I was being tested on to see if I could create a superhuman type energy. And I brought forward this idea of like a vampiric essence before, and I was completely black from head to toe, like as black as the night. I had massive black wings, like bat wings. My head was bald. I had really pointy teeth. My jaw felt massive. I could physically feel it in my plane of existence, and I was just grabbing my stomach. And I've had a lot of trouble over the past couple of weeks with regards to my tummy area, and I wasn't sure what was going on. And in that space, I just grabbed my stomach, and I could feel like I was pregnant of sorts somewhere. And the tears then began to fall because I could see all of the times that I've had children taken from me, children tortured and ripped from me and my energy in other spaces. And I thought, gosh, like these energies are here, they are very real, and sometimes we are tapping into timelines that we just truly could never know existed somewhere. And it's getting quite expansive, and I know that this sounds like massive fiction somewhere, and sometimes there is no other way to make this make sense other than saying I feel it and I sense it and I know it to be my truth. And if it's too expansive for you right now, that is completely okay. I think I've been having to really seed into this expression of darkness myself and truly accept it of self. But I've seen myself as all different types of beings, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And that was something that I was told that I've been doing this lifetime, is seeding in a deeper aspect of this darker consciousness, because we're going to, we're already having to fight aspects of this consciousness that have been brought forward through public the mass media and public entertainment is what I want to share. And these energies are ever ramping up behind the scenes, everyone. So I think to those that are awake, to those that are seeding in this consciousness, please be aware of all that is around you, because you're being brought forward consciousness and signs and synchronicities to help you perhaps help those around you, and also perhaps in the space where you live right now. And I've been put smack bang in a hub of dark energy where I live specifically, and I've had this notion for some time, and I very much felt like I couldn't leave the space that I've been in. Anytime I've gotten a little bit further out, I've always been drawn back here, and I've been told because I have my soul contracts here, there was work that I needed to do here, and I've been having to seed in this consciousness. Although it being incredibly challenging to me, this has never felt like home to me. Up here has always felt like home somewhere. But I think I've always just had a darkness that surrounded me in this space, and I very much felt that when I was coming back to be in the vicinity of the area that I live, there was just a blanket of weight that just came creeping over me. And I thought, yeah, there it is, that energy, that understanding is here, and I'm working through this daily. So to those that might be feeling tired right now, to those that might have been struggling their entire lives, you've been transmuting energy that isn't yours. So please go easy on self and look after yourself is what I want to share, everyone. But there is a request from me, because I've been told that teams of light have been quite sneaky, and they have been bringing forward aspects of understanding for some of you to encourage you to reach out to us, the Light Renegades, to myself as Starr. And specifically, if you've been seeing pentagrams or working with pentagrams in your everyday life or in your dream time, please do contact me, because I think that we will have information for each other. And this is a personal request from me, so that I can gain information from some of you. I knew that this was going to be part of my path and part of my journey, but I didn't know how it was going to come to be. And I'm hearing that some of you have been so hesitant to reach out to us Light Renegades. I promise you, I don't bite unless you want me to. Joking. But we are here to help you, but at the same time, I think some of you out here have information that I perhaps might need. So, if things have been brought forward to your attention, you thought, I would quite like to tell the Light Renegades that, but you want to say it, in a personal space, I'm happy to hop on a call with you. If you want to just converse over email, also great. But I'm hearing specifically, some of you have been given information that I'm going to personally need on my journey. So please take this as your confirmation that I want to hear from you. And of course, I'm always busy. There was always something going off behind the scenes, but I think that is just a given, where we find ourselves right now. There is not going to be a time when, we aren't working. So, anything that I'm bringing brought forward, it's an expression of where I am right now in my state of consciousness, but also I'm here to help you too. And, there is a lot that is brought forward to all of us. We have a lot on our plates at all times. So don't think that I'm ever too busy to hear what you've got to say. And I want to hear what you've got to say. I really look forward to hearing from more souls out here and your story. It brings me such such comfort, and also my heart just completely explodes anytime anyone reaches out and just wishes to share anything of their experience with me, even if it is of a darker expression. Holding empathy and love for different souls out here struggling is what we came here to do. We created the Light Renegades so that we could create a support system. So please do not hesitate to leave comments. We want to hear from you. Please do not hesitate to reach out to myself, to Anna Maria, to the Light Renegades as a whole, as a collective. We want to hear from you. And if you step forward, you are actually helping yourself also step forward in your own path and in your own journey to be witnessed in your expression of self. So know that you are also helping yourself by stepping forward and just sharing what you perhaps know, what has been your life up until this point, or specific information that you are delving into at this time. I'm going to tag some videos that I've been watching of late connected to the darkness, connected to darker magic and darker practices, and some aspects of understanding have very much come to the forefront of my mind, and the forefront of expression this week that I've been waiting for some time is what I want to share, everyone. So I keep getting cramped in my legs. That might be confirmation for someone too. And yeah, I'm ever grateful for the spaces that I'm delving into, but there is a lot of harrowing information being brought forward on a daily, so I'm making sure that I'm taking those breaks when I can, I'm stepping away when I can, I'm going and doing other things when I can, because it's so important that we seed in a consciousness that is going to be stable for us moving forward. Yes, there is a breaking down of the mental psyche, but you have to make sure that you are receiving the help and guidance that you need alongside that for a support system. So if you need professional help, please do go seek it. I'm merely a channel. I bring forward information that my teams of light, push forward through me to us Light Renegades. So take that time out if you need it. Take that self-care and rest when you need it. But I think that all be from me today. And thank you for showing up today and sitting in this deeper state of consciousness. And, apologies to anyone that I might have offended earlier with regards to my expression of, I guess the LGBTQIA community somewhere. That is not what I'm attacking. I'm upset for everyone in this space. I feel like they are hacking some understandings of your specific journey, and they are coercing it to be part of their agenda of, a gender neutral space moving forward, because they know that takes away our inherent power somewhere, and that is not speaking to those souls that are on a path of transitioning. You are seeding in your soul at the same time. They are trying to take away our soul, our gender, everything. They want us to be numb to everything, and that is what I don't support. So just to be clear on that, and please do share your experiences in the comments with each other. Please be respectful, but we want all of you to be conversing with each other. We want this to be a community space, and I'm so ready and here to accept you as you are on your path, in your journey, in your shadow, and otherwise. I see you, I hear you, and please do step forward. If you've been thinking, I want to message Starr, please do message me, because I think we will be able to help each other move forward is what I want to share. But that's all that I've got from myself today. Teams of light, teams of darkness somewhere. Lucifer sat by my side as always. But that's all that I've got for you today, and I'll be back real soon. Take care.